Last week we did part 1 of the ultimate Florida Springs adventure. We left off at Gennie Springs last episode, and Gennie Springs is pretty much right in the same area. One of my favorite spots at Gennie is one of the first ones that you see when you pull in the park, and when you get in the water, it's relatively shallow, only about 10 feet or so, and then it drops down and you actually go underneath of this ledge and you go straight back. Scuba diving is a really big deal at Gennie Springs. They have a few different caverns. I know there's the Devil's Ear, there's the Devil's Eye, and they all interconnect under the ground. So these guys will go in there and scuba dive from one spring and come up in another within the same park. The other spot that I really like to dive at Gennie is this area that actually has 2 openings. One is a circle that's almost looked like it's been cut out into the rock, and inside of it there's a tiny little keyhole, and you can go into this cave behind a rock and then come back out and around. Just a couple hundred feet away is maybe my favorite spot in the whole park. It's this opening that looks like a crack in the earth, and it starts out wide and it just gets narrower and narrower all the way down. And I guess it can be intimidating to some people, but I love the feeling of going through this crack and grabbing onto the rocks, navigating as you go down, and then you basically just do a big U. You come across the bottom and then come up the other side. I start diving and I'm going pretty quickly, but not even 15-20 feet down, I get this really sharp stabbing pain almost behind my eye. And I kept diving and it felt okay, but as I came up, the pressure changed. I breached the surface and the boys are like, "Yo, dude, you're bleeding." And I'm super freaked out because I've had pain before. I've had blocks with my sinuses, but I've never had blood, especially this much, show just from diving. We talked to a scuba diver and he basically said I need to try to take Sudafed before my dives to clear my sinuses, and I just gotta slow down. It was a scary experience, and I was a little bit bummed out because we had to call the trip right then and we had to go all the way back to Melbourne just so I could take a day off to rest. The next day, I'm feeling good, the sinuses are cleared, and I drove to Orlando to meet up with the boys at Tristan's house. Ew, what's up, dude? Woo. It literally dropped 20 degrees from when I woke up till now. We're hanging out at Tristan's, looking at Google Earth, trying to decide where we're gonna go, and I said we need to take on Crystal River, but more specifically, the Three Sisters Springs. The Sony one is good, but it's not very cold. There's the cold front, and then look behind it. It's freezing outside, and we're looking at temperatures in the upper 40s. We load up the board, the boys are swimming down the river, and I'm not gonna lie, it's extremely hard to forget that alligators are all over Florida, and we're just counting the seconds until we get to that crystal blue water. This was hands down one of the coldest days that I've ever attempted to go into the springs, but if you want to see the manatees, you have to go with that cold snap. Basically what happens is the manatees will catch hypothermia and die if they get below a certain temperature. So they go into the head of the springs where the water is consistently 68 to 72, and I'm talking hundreds of manatees will pile up in these small little bays. I do want to remind everyone to be extremely cautious if you go to Three Sister Springs or anywhere that has this many manatees, because they are there for a reason. You are not allowed to touch, harass, or mess with these manatees in any way, so make sure that you're being mindful and not creating a situation where they're going to be in trouble. Devil's Den is basically the most unique spring in Florida. We've got our gear together and we're about to walk into the Devil's Den, and you're coming down these stairs and you just see this beam of light coming through the ceiling. The Florida Springs are so special to me, and it makes me really happy to share this with everyone. The feedback has been so amazing, and I want to encourage everybody to get out there, enjoy this, and experience everything that Florida has to offer. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been an amazing adventure. See you next week. Woo!